Shalom Aleichem, everyone. It's been a little bit of time, and wanted to reintroduce myself. We just finished Hanukkah. I'm standing here on the last day of Hanukkah, and it's about an hour left till Hanukkah is over. It's a beautiful, beautiful Chag, and we enter into the month of Teves. And Teves, the Hasidic Sfarim, usually I don't call it the Hasidic Sfarim, but the Hasidic Sfarim point out about Teves that it is a very interesting month, and they point out that there are 44 days from Rosh Chodesh Tevet to Tu B'Shvat, and these 44 days are what we call dead winter. This is the heart of the winter time where the nights are very, very long, the days are short. In Eretz Yisrael, the rainy season, it's colder. We kind of feel this dreariness in Teves. That's what the month really represents. It's a deader kind of month. And again, the Sfarim point out that there are 44 days between Rosh Chodesh Teves until Tu B'Shvat, corresponding to the 44 candles that we light, including the Shamish on Hanukkah. The 44 days of light, the 44 lights that we have on Hanukkah, corresponding to those 44 days where everything is in a certain sense in hibernation. We're kind of hunkering down in the month of Teves. They also point out, the Sfarim do, that when it comes to Teves, the Lashon of Teves, the language of Teves, corresponds to Hatavas Haneros. What was the Hatavas Haneros that the Kohen did in the Beis HaMikdash? He had to clean out the Neros, prepare them, clean out from the schmutz of last night, from the schmutz of the prior lighting, clean them out in order that they could be rekindled the next day in a very beautiful fashion. That's what this month is really all about. The long nights, the shorter days, the darkness, the hibernation, where in a certain sense we clean ourselves out, we regroup, we re-energize, we rebuild, we dig deep inside in order that comes Tu B'Shvat and the spring and the first buds, we can go ahead and emerge. A couple of days ago I came home from Yeshiva, and my wife looked at me and she says, "You seem burdened." Apparently I bore a certain burdened look on my face, and in a certain sense, yes, the burden of the darker days of Teves was hitting me. I was a little bit of a down mood, and it reminds me of a Dvar Torah that I always like to say over. You've probably heard it from me before, but in this week's Parasha Vayigash, the Torah tells us of Yosef bringing Yaakov for the first time to Paro in Mitzrayim. And Yosef, Vayove Yosef is Yaakov Avihu, Vayamideu Lifnei Paro. So Yosef brings Yosef brings Yaakov to in front of Paro in Mitzrayim. Vayivorech Yaakov es Paro. Yaakov gives Paro a blessing. And what is the first thing that Paro says to Yaakov? Vayomer Paro el Yaakov, Kama Yemei Shnei Chayecha. Paro says to Yaakov, "How old are you?" Very striking introduction. Yaakov gives Paro a blessing, and Paro says to Yaakov, "How old are you?" Vayomer Yaakov el Paro. And Yaakov responds, Yemei Shnei Megurai, Sholshim Ume'at Shana. My life has been, thus far, 130 years. Ma'at Vira'im Hayu. They've been short and not so great. Yemei Shnei Chayai, Velo Hisigu et Yemei Shnei Chayev Osai B'mei Migurehem. And I've not yet reached, and I will not reach, the years of my father, the years of my grandfather. So Yaakov Avinu, when asked how old he is, he says, it's been tough. It's been a tough life. It's not been easy. There's a very, very beautiful comment that is made by the Das Zakenim Balei Atosos. It's found in some of the Mikros Gedolos, not the one I'm looking at right now, but the Das Zakenim Balei Atosos, actually, is it here? The Das Zakenim Balei Atosos cites a Medrash, and in the Medrash basically says that Yaakov, again, one of the Avos, the Bechir HaAvos, on his level was taken to task by Hashem. Your life was rough? Yeah, you did have it rough. You struggled with Esav, that's for sure, and that struggle even began in the womb, and that was not easy, but did I not save you from Esav? And sure, you had your struggles with Lavan, no doubt, but did I not save you from Lavan? And yes, indeed, there was the incident, you lost your son Yosef for a period of time, you were separated for a long period of time, but did I not reunite you with Yosef? So sure, there was struggle, it was difficult, there were challenges, but every step of the way there was a certain sense of Hashkachas Hashem. So therefore, Hashem says, yes, indeed, life might have been tough, Yaakov, and for sure on your level, life was tough, but every step of the way I was there with you, helping you get through it. And therefore, the Medrash tells us that Hashem punished Yaakov for his answer. What was the punishment? For every word of his answer, he lost a year of his life. He was destined to live for the same lifespan as Yitzchak, his father, 180 years. And in this answer, 33 words in the answer, so those 33 words correspond to 1 year of Yaakov's life that was taken away, and instead of living till 180, Yaakov is going to die at the age of 147. So Rav Chaim Shmulevitz points out, very, very striking, he says, wait a second, let's count the words. And when you count the words of Yaakov's response, it does not equal 33. 33 years were subtracted, says the Medrash, 180 to 147, but count the words. It's not 33, it's 25. So where are those 8 missing words, those 8 missing years? So Chaim Shmulevitz points out very beautifully that the answer is, what was Paro's first question to Yaakov? Shalom Aleichem, how was your trip? Must have been a tough trip. Welcome to our... No, that was not what Paro asked. Paro's first greeting to Yaakov was, Vayomer Paro el Yaakov, that's 4. Kama Yemei Shnei Chayecha, that's another 4. That's 8 words. Vayomer Paro el Yaakov, Kama Yemei Shnei Chayecha. How old are you? Why is that Paro's first question to Yaakov? Why is he asking that? So Rav Chaim Shmulevitz points out that apparently Yaakov looked old. Apparently there was a wear and tear because of the struggles with Esav. Lavan, Dinah, Yosef. There was a certain wear and tear. He carried that tough life on his panim. It was there. It was there to be seen. And therefore Paro was very struck. Wow, how old are you? Kama Yemei Shnei Chayecha. And therefore, says Rav Chaim Shmulevitz, Yaakov again on his level. Not only was he punished, says the Medrash, for the words of his answer, but he was also punished for how he carried himself, his countenance, his appearance in front of Paro. And it's a very, very fundamental lesson, which I think my wife was trying to share with me as well. And that is, we go through, life has its challenges, its ups and downs, and certainly when you hit what I'll call the dog days of winter, the long nights, the darker days where it's rainy, where it's snowy, where it's less comfortable, so there's a chill in the air. So sometimes that affects our mood, and that brings us down. And I think the lesson of the Hasidic Sfarim and the lesson of this idea is that, winter sometimes puts people in a bit of a darker mood, a bad mood, but understand that it's all there with a purpose. It's all there to, those animals hibernate and then they come out refreshed, renewed, and that's really what this time is about. Yes, Hashem is always with us, and we have to have that positive attitude in every single facet of our lives. Certainly when a husband comes home to his family, to his wife, no matter what happened in the office, no matter what happened at work, to come home with a smile on his face, with energy, because that's what his family needs, that's what his spouse needs. Those are all areas that we engage in, to have that positive energy, that besever panim yafos, that we greet everyone with, that positivity, that energy. It's always more geschmack to be with positive people than with cynical, with negative people. I recall a famous book, or a series of books, I think they were called the Harry Potter volumes. And in those books there was a group of people known as, characters, Dementors. And whenever they walked into a scene, a room, they sucked the air out of the room. There was a dourness, a darkness that they brought wherever they came to. And I think that's the message of this idea of Rav Chaim Shmulevitz. Again, he's using Yaakov, not Chas v'Shalom that Yaakov is a dementor, but using that as a lesson for us all, is that wherever we find ourselves, to try to the best of our abilities, even in these long nights of winters, these short days, to bring positivity, to bring energy, to bring a smile to a room. It goes so far, it does so much, and we should be zoche to use this month of Teves to bring us to the springtime that we will, Mir Hashem, experience in Shvat.